Hello everyone, my name is Kasaya. I am here to provide a timeless collective tarot message. So if you found yourself here, there may be some messages for you. If you were drawn to the thumbnail or the title, there may be some messages in here for you. So I hope you find something that resonates. I hope you find something beneficial. Spirit, what do we have for the collective at this time using the OG Rider-Waite Tarot today? What do we have for the collective, Spirit, at this time? What do we have for the collective? What do we have for the collective at this time, Spirit? We have the Nine of Pentacles. So you could be in this state of independence. You could be taking some sort of independent actions, or you're working on an independent project. You could be working, you could be setting routines around yourself, self-care, exercise, healthy eating, journaling, meditating, hobbies, socializing, all the different things, tending to the self here. And we have the Six of Cups in the reverse. Now, this could be independent of a past pattern, independent of a person, independent of a memory even. Okay, I'm going to get further into it with this Nine of Pentacles energy. Let's get further into it, Spirit. Let's get further into it. What else do we have for the collective at this time, Spirit? We have the Lovers in the reverse. Okay, so the Six of Cups in the reverse, the Lovers in the reverse. To me, it does feel here that there is some sort of separation. This could be with something of the past, like with the self, something of the past, but with the Lovers and the Six of Cups both being cards of connection, it feels as though there has been some sort of separation here. Separation from a friend, a romantic partner, a business partner, walking away from a family member, whatever it might be. It does seem like there has been some sort of separation. Okay, let's get further into this. Queen of Cups in the reverse, but we have the Seven of Cups in the reverse here. So there's been some sort of disillusionment to some sort of Queen of Cups reversed energy. The Queen of Cups upright is nurturing, compassionate, vulnerable, emotionally nurturing and safe. In the reverse, there's a lack thereof. There's been some sort of disillusionment to a lack of nurturing, a lack of compassion, a lack of understanding, a lack of vulnerability within a connection with another person. Okay, and there's been disillusionment to whatever this may be. It could have caused quite a bit of unrest. It could have caused confusion. Okay, it could have caused unrest, confusion, anxiety, even with these two cards here. Mental unrest, confusion in decision, confusion in movement, confusion in perspective, emotion, etc. There was definitely something that was confusing that you have been illuminated to. The last few readings have spoke of illumination or clarity, so it seems like something has come to the forefront and there has been some sort of separation, or maybe this is advice or guidance for you if you have not moved away from something that is lacking harmony, lacking nurturing, lacking kinship, that doesn't have to be family, kinship, like that feeling of knowing, like very deeply knowing another person, like I see you, you see me, friendship, it's depth, you get what I mean, right? Kinship, soul connections, where there was a lack of this soul connection, a lack of depth, a lack of vulnerability, a lack of compassion, an emotional understanding. Okay, there is guidance to move away from this. Okay, I am picking up here that this is with a connection, whatever kind, but it could as well be with, a part of yourself, a memory, a pattern, a perspective, a limiting belief or self-doubt. Okay, whatever, not having compassion for the self, not understanding the self, being confused about what the self wants, being confused about what makes the self happy. So it could either be that or another person, or it's both. Maybe that, you became disillusioned to that pattern within yourself, or that state within yourself, which disillusioned you to that state without of the self. There's something about, seeing through the fog, clearing up the mud, something becoming clear. Okay, we have the Eight of Swords and the Four of Wands. So it could have been that you felt quite trapped or possibly alone with the Eight of Swords and the Four of Wands. You know, being blinded, being strung up. It was feeling like you were in a cage. The castle's back here. You see this castle back here? Look at that. That's the same castle. The red. It's the same castle, okay? It was like... It's like there was a home there, or there was a connection there. There was a like a foundation, but or there was possibility or opportunity or potential for this loving, nurturing, committed, celebratory connection. But there was this Eight of Swords. You or another person or both parties very much stayed trapped inside of the head. It's like the castle is right behind. Right, the celebration is right behind, but it's like there was words, there was thought patterns, there was limiting beliefs, there was doubts, there was one's own poor coping mechanisms, or inability to construe, to verbalize thought patterns and you know, mental conflicts and stuff. But it's a self-made prison here. While there is celebration that is available, there is celebration, there is stability that is available to you, or maybe you're bringing this to your own life, okay? If the Eight of Swords were in reversed here, this could very well be you're breaking the chains of these kinds of energies. You're breaking the chains of that self-doubt, the limiting belief, the struggle, the loneliness. You are releasing yourself from some sort of self-made prison. Expanding your perspective, allowing in joy, committing to stability and structure within the self, within the home, within, excuse me, for confirmation, within the home, within, this is tending to the home, this is cleaning the home, organizing the home, okay, and that's also the home as in the vessel, all right, tending to, cleaning, organizing the vessel, taking care of the self. The Nine of Pentacles, the Empress, the Four of Wands. Okay, and that Queen of Cups having been in reverse, there's a need to have more compassion for the self. Okay, let yourself feel whatever separation you've been through, whatever you've untied yourself from, whatever you freed yourself from the illusion of. You're needing to have compassion with yourself within this, nurturing yourself, understanding why you were drawn to something in the first place, why you held on to something, why things had to be moved away on. It's, yeah. Okay. In regards to the self, it's like there has been a separation away from a connection here, or a memory, or a pattern, whatever it might be for you. That separation from this that is allowing you to focus on yourself once more. A focus on your home, focus on your stability, focus on your vessel. Okay, focus on your structure, your foundation, what you want to build. Moving away from something in order to... And we have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse as well. You're freeing yourself up from feelings of loneliness. It's like you were trapped. It's like the castle was right there, but in this connection, you felt like it was not available. Like it was always wrapped up. Like you couldn't see it clearly. Like there was confusion, again, confusion. And whatever this was, you had to stand up for yourself. Stand up for what you believe in. Persevere for what you believe is right. What you believe you deserve here. What you believe is healthy for you, what you believe is right for you, aligned, a resonance, okay? You're going back within to bring that resonance back to yourself, to bring that alignment back to the self, especially here with the Four of Wands and the Empress. Okay, it's focusing on your money, on your body, on your stability, on your home, on your connections, on your hobbies, on your mindset. Okay, we have the Nine of Cups and we have the Judgment card. All right, so it's something of, it's again taking care of the self. This can be seen in some ways, especially in reverse, as a selfish card. This is in the upright, it's being selfish in a positive light, right? It's putting the self first even when it hurts. Choosing the self even when it hurts, okay? This was a judgment call. There was some sort of choice that had to be made for one's own happiness, for one's own fulfillment, for one's own emotional well-being and safety, with the Queen of Cups here and the Nine of Cups. For one's own emotional safety and clarity here, and clarity. Right? The disillusionment. You had to take some sort of action. You had to make some sort of call. There was great reflection, great reevaluation. You had to make a final judgment on something, and then you had to take swift action once this judgment was clear, once this decision was made. Okay, you had to move. You had to move away from something, from some sort of connection, because you can't sit, once you are disillusioned to patterns or incompatibilities, things that are out of sync, things that don't meet the needs or the desires of the self. You can't sit and stay there. Then you feel trapped, right? And then resentment builds if you stay stuck around in that. Okay. And the Four of Cups in the reverse. The Four of Cups upright is of stalemate. It's of stagnancy. It's of feeling stuck. It's having the opportunity to move out, but kind of just wallowing in stagnancy. So you moved yourself out. You felt stuck. You felt stuck. You felt trapped. You felt blinded, confused. You felt unnurtured. You felt unfelt is what I just heard. Unfelt, like you weren't truly seen for who you are here, maybe. There's a lack of compassion, emotional understanding, emotional maybe maturity, or emotional resonance, emotional alignment here. Okay? And so you had to move away to preserve yourself. We have the Sun card. You had to move away to preserve yourself, to preserve your stability, to preserve your heart, to preserve your compassion, your understanding, your empathy, your emotional vulnerability. Okay, if you stay stuck in a place that is cold for so long, the Five of Pentacles had come out. If you stay stuck in a place of coldness, of aloofness, of numbness, stagnancy, confusion for too long, it ends up really doling out this spark. It really ends up knocking you out, right? And you needed to preserve this light. You needed to preserve this energy, this creativity, this dreaminess, this wonder. All right, and in order to do that, you had to become independent of some sort of connection that was that always had you stuck in your head. Like you were never clear. There was always anxiety. There was always this tension. There was always feeling like you just can't get out of something, like a repetition, like a wrapping up, raveling. I have a poem called Ravel. I might share it in the comments. I might not. I'll have to think about it, see where I'm led to, but it might actually resonate with this reading here. So anyways, it was raveling. It was wrapping you up. It was like some sort of repetitive pattern, like mental pattern, perspective, communication, conversation, or lack thereof being locked out. I tried to point at the castle behind the card, lol, like behind the swords or something. Feeling locked out. It was wrapping you up. It was constricting you. It was compressing you. It was, creating this sense of heaviness and constriction. And there was a need to remove yourself, to free yourself, to take care of the self. It's seeing a connection clearly with the Six of Pentacles. I think this is where the reading will be ending here. Okay, it's seeing a connection clearly, a connection with the self, a connection to another, seeing a relation clearly, seeing the soul lesson. Ooh. Yeah, that resonated. I've got chills throughout my whole body. Seeing a soul lesson of a connection clearly, the karmic lesson, the lesson that brought you back to yourself. It's learning a lesson, because in connection with anyone, everyone, we are learning lessons about the external world, about others, about, shaping our world perspective, but also, you should, at least, be learning something about yourself through every single connection, because humans are mirrors. And there's something that was reflected back to you and you finally understood it, okay? And it could have something to do with energy, creativity, the inner child, life force, confidence, self-knowing with the Sun card here, radiance, the soul's radiance, okay? There was some sort of lesson that was reflected back to you spiritually, okay? Like a spiritual stance of, a spiritual understanding of connection, a spiritual understanding of who you are in connection. That's really weird. There are two crows following a car. What could that possibly mean? You saw something. You saw something clearly. You saw a path clearly. It's a path. It's like, it's almost, it's big. It's wide. It's like a path, a pattern, something in your life was seen clearly, and it's like you were pushed forward by some sort of spiritual force. Now, this could be your higher self, this could be your spirit team, this could be your ancestors, but there was some sort of higher power that guided you forwards. That kind of was the wind underneath your wings. They gave you this momentum to see something clearly, and to accept something, to understand the lesson of something as it relates to something within your soul, as it relates to something that it reflected back to your soul and your understanding of yourself. You're seeing yourself more clearly. You're seeing yourself, and I feel like my voice is more clear. You're seeing yourself more clearly. You're understanding your path more clearly, why something had to happen the way it did, or why, the lesson of a connection, why something happened with someone or something. Okay, it revealed the Moon card and the Four of Pentacles. It revealed the Seven of Pentacles reversed. It revealed something, the Two of Swords reversed. It revealed something that you were denying yourself of, or denying to yourself. Like, it revealed something to you where you were, a trigger that you were holding on to, an old self-limiting belief, or an old fear, an old form of stability that was no longer stable. It helped you to see something clearly, like an anchor that you held in this connection, or something that anchored it together. That is something that was Four of Pentacles, the Moon, something that was past, something that was worn out, something that was like you were attached to this connection because of an old pattern, or an old fear, an old way that you used to structure and stabilize things that you have outgrown. Okay, and that's why this relationship came in, and you learned the lesson throughout this relationship that allows you to free yourself from this fear, this pattern, this way of building or feeling stable or structured that no longer suits you. Okay, and there's freedom here. You have freed yourself from some sort of, it's more than just like the separation. Like, the separation is the physical aspect. You have freed yourself from something spiritually, and it is reflected in the separating of a connection in the physical realm. Okay, and this is allowing you to move forward. And there's grief. There's grief. There's of course grief, right? There's some sort of, when you walk away from anything, there's grief. Even if it's something you should be happy to walk away from, like you're walking away from a bad job, or you're walking away from, I'll just use that example. You're walking away from a bad job and you're getting a new position that pays better and there's greater community. There's still a sense of sadness because it's a routine. It's the time you've invested, the heart you've invested into the people, the energy and the effort you've invested into the job itself. There's time to grieve. It's time to grieve the time that was spent, and not from a place of regret. We don't regret the things that we have learned, right? We don't regret the things that have taught us lessons and brought us back home to ourselves, or helped us, even if not completely brought us back home to ourselves, allowed us to learn new lessons about ourselves, see ourselves in new ways, hopefully, possibly better ways, right? More enlightened ways. And so we don't see separation from a place, or grief from a place of, absolute loss and of resentment, or of rejection even. It's this place of gratitude for the lesson, the time spent learning something, the time spent seeing something new in oneself, okay? And you're being urged to allow yourself to sit with these feelings, with that Queen of Cups in the reverse, allowing yourself to sit with these feelings, have compassion, nurturing, understanding with your vulnerabilities in relation to this separation, okay? To really tend to the home, tend to the vessel, tend to that which replenishes you, okay? There's a need to focus on the self at this time, all right? Anything connected to the self, anything. It's self-care routine. It's social connections that are uplifting and supportive. It is hobbies that are replenishing and inspiring, okay, etc., etc. Really, really tending to the self, getting back to the self, recommitting to the self. When you go through there's certain connections, not all connections, at least not healthy connections. There's some connections, though, that you go through and you kind of neglect parts of yourself. You neglect certain routines, or you neglect yeah, parts of yourself, certain routines, self-care, etc., to whatever extent. And when you separate from this, it allows you to have that time, that energy, back to the self. It places it back on the self. Now you have the space to give to the self. You just need to be compassionate and nurturing within this. Do not allow yourself to fall back into illusion or confusion. Stay clear to why you made some sort of decision that you made to separate from something that you, or someone that you separated from. Stay clear in that. Be firm in your self-love. The Empress, the Nine of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, the Sun, the Two of Cups, okay, the Queen of Cups. Stay centered with yourself in love, in grace, in understanding, as you move through whatever this phase is, as you move through this grief, okay? Really take care of yourself at this time. That's what you're being urged to do, is to take care of yourself, and to not be alone as well, to share in your pain with others. Allow others to share in your pain with them. Okay. Yeah. That's the message for you. I hope that you found something beneficial here. I hope you found it I almost said hopeful. I meant to say helpful. I hope you found it both helpful and hopeful, and I hope that this found everyone that it was meant for. I hope it found you in a very open and receptive state. And until next time, guys, Godspeed, much love.